Hello, you beautiful creatures. My name's Alexandra with This Is Improv, and I am here to talk to you today about a man named Augusto Boal. Boal? I can never remember. So this is just a getting to know you of who Augusto really is. He honestly has done some pretty amazing things with improvisation in terms of education. Augusto was a theater practitioner, drama theorist, and political activist. And to be quite honest, he did so much during his time here on Earth. He was the founder of the Theater of the Oppressed, which was a completely radical left form of theater. He used it for popular education movements and teaching. Something that a lot of people don't realize about Augusto was he actually was in politics. Now, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but he served as a vereador in Brazil. So he was there actively from 1993 to 1997. During that time, he developed legislative theater. So basically, legislative theater is a way for the citizens of the city to speak upon political matters. So they would go to the town center, city center, anything, and freely perform their opinion on what the political matters were in the country at the time. This was a way for Boal to see what the people were thinking so that they could take into consideration on the political side what the next step should be. And to be quite frank, that is probably one of the best ways to get people involved in politics, is to make it artistic. He thought it would be a fun and easy way for people to express themselves to their government with no judgment, no harm, no repercussion, just an opinion, a freedom of speech in the form of theater. So this spect actor group, they would perform, and this would assist in making new laws. There were a total of 13 laws created from legislative theater from the time that Boal was there. Now, actually, legislative theater is used overseas in the United Kingdom and in Canada. So the purpose of Theater of the Oppressed when Boal started it was to take theories of theater from the 1950s and constantly recreate them and remorph them. So he tried many theatrical theories throughout Theater of the Oppressed to find what really fit with his style. Theater of the Oppressed is largely based on interaction. So the interaction between the performer and the audience. What happens in between those moments and how can you connect to them? So because Augusto is really into imagery, he would use his techniques and form them or represent them in the form of a tree. So image theater and form theater would be the trunk and the branches, and then anything relating to the subject matter would be the actual branch leaves and things like that. So over time, his tree has developed, but mainly from what Augusto had originally drawn the tree as has remained the same. It's a pretty consistent technique that he's created. In all honesty, Augusto kind of reminds me of Stanislavski. Stanislavski was constantly changing his technique, was constantly improving it, morphing it, making it so that more people could understand it, use it, and have it help them. So in this video, I'm mainly going to be talking about Augusto's life. I'm not really going to be talking about his specific techniques because I want to go into that in further videos. To be able to do that, you do have to go into major detail because he was very specific on his techniques while also having this freedom of performance within them. So Augusto studied in Columbia University in New York under John Gassner, the critic. And John Gassner actually introduced Augusto to Konstantin Stanislavski's technique and Bertolt Brecht. I think I said that right. From this, Boal actually created 2 shows under studying. Gassner really encouraged Boal to get out there, to really find his style of theater, and introduced him to the Black experimental theater. And from that, he created his first 2 shows, The Horse and the Saint and The House Across the Street. So from his time in New York, Augusto was asked to go back to Brazil in Sao Paulo to do the Arena Theater. The Arena Theater was a well-known theater, and he was actually asked to be in charge of directing a lot of the shows there and working with the other dramaturgs. Through this, he was working with Jose Renato, who was actually one of the founders of the Arena. Networking, guys. What's amazing is that Augusto brought over Stanislavski's technique, used it with the Arena, used it with other theaters in Brazil, and brought this art over there, this form of theater. And he used it because he had an extreme leftist side on the political matters going on in Brazil. This was right after extreme dictatorship had just happened. So he used his theater to express his political beliefs. Augusto directed many shows in the Arena. He directed a lot of classical dramas, but he also reformed them in a way so that Brazil could connect to them much better. You know, connecting to the society, the economy, making it so that they understood it. One of the most famous plays that Augusto did in Brazil at the Arena Theater was Of Mice and Men. It was critically acclaimed, and he actually ended up winning an award from it. Eventually, the Arena Theater began to go a little bankrupt, so consequently they decided to invest in National Theater. By doing this, the Arena started to get back in the scene, started to become more successful again. When the Arena started to get popular again, Augusto was able to create Seminar in Dramaturgy. So he gave this entire platform to playwrights all over. And many successful plays were actually born from doing these seminars. I mean, he gave young playwrights an opportunity to become successful where they wouldn't have in the first place. It's similar to his legislative theater. He gave someone a voice, and that's what theater is all about, education, right? In 1964, the military started to change. There was a coup d'etat. And in 1971, Augusto Boal was seen as a threat to the military regime, was kidnapped, tortured, and exiled to Argentina. And from his time in Argentina, he spent about 5 years there. He wrote 2 books, one being Theater of the Oppressed, where he discusses how theater is and always will be political, and if you think otherwise, you're lying to yourself. He based this off of another Brazilian writer and the book called Pedagogy of the Oppressed. The writer of Pedagogy of the Oppressed was actually one of his good friends, Paulo. Now for the last part of the video, I'm just going to express why I find Augusto so interesting. So we talked about the legislative theater. The people needed a voice. He gave them a voice, created 13 laws, right? He used his Theater of the Oppressed to give the audience a chance to actually be involved in the theater. He believes that the old style of theater is an oppressive form of theater. Why shouldn't the audience have an opinion during the show? Why shouldn't the audience be involved in it? If you're taking the time to sit there and watch it, don't you feel like you want to be more connected and be in it? So this is beautiful for improvisation because that's exactly what it is. Improvisation is an implement of theater that is extremely interactive. We cannot do certain shows without a suggestion, right? We need you. We need the audience. If we don't have the audience, we just lost a troupe member. Many forms of theater are based off of suggestions. A lot of sketches that you see performed, shows that are done, are based off of improvisation. When you look at Second City, they used improvisational theater so that they can write sketches, make shows. That is how they form their writing. And it's extremely useful because from that improvised scene, you can make an entire film. Ideas need to come from somewhere. And Augusto realized that. He realized that people wanted to be involved. People from the community want to be just as artistic as the things that they're seeing. It's a very open and a very inviting form of theater, a very free form of theater. And I think it's really interesting. Boal even took his theories to Peru and helped with the eradication of illiteracy, using theatrical methods to assist people. He wanted to break down spectator versus performer. And he successfully did so. He did a lot of experimental theater, and through this experimental theater, he created some really brilliant movements for people who enjoy art in general. I will touch further on Augusto's methods, theories, his techniques, because there is just so much to this man. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today on this video. I hope that you learned something new. If you have any questions about anything we talk about, you can comment down below. You can also email us at info@thisisimprov.com. Tell us what you want to hear about next. Maybe you find someone fascinating, but you don't have the time to research them. We do, and we will provide it. Remember that This Is Improv is also an educational platform. We are not just here for your entertainment needs. So you can go to www.thisisimprov.com and sign up for a class today. We have improvisation, writing, corporate team building, and personalized classes. We also have theater for life. This Is Improv proudly, unconventionally helps people find their funny in their work, education, and home. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that you learned something new today. Make sure to check out the description down below for some people who might need your help at this time. If you know someone who needs a little extra help, if you know an organization that you think should be added to the list, please let us know, either in the comments or to the email I mentioned earlier. I am so appreciative of you, you beautiful creature. My name is Alexandra with This Is Improv. Goodbye. Hello everybody, my name is Alexandra.
And I'm Angelica.
And this is
Legends of Yesterday,
where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of South Florida.
And well, the only reason trapped there, so it's like a purgatory, kind of hell.
What is around us then? It's really made Davie such a special place.